Hello everybody, how is it going? So, we got round, I think, 1 of the flagship battle in Tokyo. It is Queen versus Zoro. I don't think we saw much Queen in any of the events lately, but there's this match, and I think Queen's a pretty cool deck, so we'll get to check it out here. Again, I would imagine Zoro would have a decent matchup into Queen, kind of applying a lot of pressure early. I honestly, I'm not too sure. I'm not too confident on how this matchup would normally go, because late game Queen has the ability to deal with a lot of threats, and also just like Zoro can't really fight back for board, so he kind of needs to have, I guess, stuff like 5-cost Marcos, which even then could get answered by like Katakuri and 9-drop Mihawk. So I don't know, it might actually not be that bad for Queen, thinking about it a little bit. I guess it's just a matter of Queen getting there. He has to be able to get to like his 8 Dawn turn, and then, just get to his turn 5 basically, so he can start playing big cards, healing life, doing his thing. So I'd imagine it's just kind of survive the onslaught that is Zoro early game, and you should be favored in the late game. But Zoro swinging 7, and Queen triggering a boa blocker. It's solid. That's solid. Also, Zoro's turn 1 was play Nami, grab a Sanji, and that was it. Queen did nothing on his turn 1. Then Zoro will play a Buggy. Card is broken. I'm a massive Buggy hater in the One Piece card game. But he'll add a Diablo Jambe and just pass it back, I would imagine. Queen looking like he has a bunch of 2k counters. Looks like a Dofi blocker and Katakuri. So he will drop the Dofi blocker. See what he finds. Hopefully we'll be able to see if the camera pans to his hand. Doesn't look like we'll be able to see. Unlucky. But I imagine he'll just swing either 5 or 6 at life after this, because why not? He could completely try starving Zoro, but I think that's just not a good idea. And so we're keeping the 5 cards on top of his deck. Must have been at least decent. A bit unfortunate we didn't get to see them, but what are you gonna do? Zoro picking up a Radical Beam for turn, and Queen actually opting not to swing, so maybe I was wrong in assuming that he wouldn't try to starve Zoro. But Zoro honestly doesn't look like he has many great plays. We see the Magra, which again will help him be aggressive this turn, but the rest of his cards are just kind of not searchers. They're just there's a Sanji 2k, a Makino 2k, so I guess he could go pretty big on a couple swings this turn if he wants to, and maybe he'll just play down the Sanji if Queen is opting not to swing in his life. I think either one is fine. I don't think, honestly though, Zoro's list seems kind of interesting. I don't think Magra is very common in most Zoro lists. You can definitely play him, it's a good card, but not super common. But he plays it now, boosts up Buggy, attacks for 7 at life. Queen will use one of the blockers. And I'm curious if he plays the Makino as well, or just goes for the Sanji, or neither, honestly. I feel like Sanji would be the call, just because Queen has already skipped 1 turn of swinging at him, so. No, he taps 1, plays the Makino, boosts up Nami to 6, and swings for 6, leaving 1 up for, I guess, the Radical Beam he just grabbed, even though right now it's just be a 2k counter, nothing crazy. Tapping 1, and just, okay, hard plays the Gordon. Fair enough. Could definitely swing with the Gordon. Queen now on his 6th Dawn turn. I feel like this is an awkward turn for most yellow decks. Not that Queen is purely yellow, but I don't know. 6 is a weird number. The Queen swinging 5 into the Buggy. Buggy going down. I imagine the Dofi will swing 2 into probably the Makino, because he does have 2 more 1-drops on the field. And Makino also going down. Queen tapping 3 for, I forget his name, but I believe he's a blocker. He is a blocker. I forget his other effect though. And then also playing a Boa blocker. So he has the defense to get to his late game, and he has the Katakuri on curve for next turn. So it's looking pretty good for Queen. Zoro not kind of seeing his Marco, I feel like, is hurting him a lot right now. Assuming he is playing Marco, we do see Nami Searcher as well, which I guess isn't too common for most Zoro builds as well. So yeah, I guess just in general not seeing any of his bigger cards, even if he's playing like, say, a Rush Luffy or just Rush Zoro. I feel like any of them would be good to see here, rather than him just playing off, 2Ks and searches right now. But he will go 1 Dawn on leader. Can never go wrong with doing that in Zoro. He could just swing with everything on his board and just call it a turn. He's still at 5 life, so he doesn't have to worry about, dying or anything. So yeah, looks like he's going 2 Dawn on Magra, attacking for 5. Queen will defend with, I believe that's a Sanji. Still has 4 Dawn remaining for Zoro, so he could actually just swing with everything. Go, 5 Gordon, 5 Nami, 6 leader. It's a good amount of pressure. Queen only having 4 cards in hand. Does have 2 blockers though, so obviously it's not like you're going for game or anything. Goes 5 at life again. He could also definitely just dedicate a swing to the Dofi blocker, but I understand him not going for that, as he just wants to put on as much pressure as possible. But leaving a blocker up doesn't seem like the best call, honestly. But going 6 at life, Queen will use one of the blockers. Oh, okay, and it looks like his other effect is bottom decking, or putting it in life. Huh, interesting. I wonder what cost that card interacts with. But Zoro getting yet another life, and plays down the Sanji. Okay, so he eventually got it down. I feel like that's probably why he's playing the card for matchups like this that don't want to swing at his life. So makes sense. But this is Queen's 8-drop turn, so if he wants, he could give Zoro a 7th life, which is kind of funny. But clears out the Nami. I imagine the Dofi will swing again, and you just keep the Boa standing. Yep, it does swing with the Dofi into the Magra. And here comes Katakuri. Zoro is now at 7 life. That's pretty funny. He puts it on top. I think that's a good call, because drawing Sanji really doesn't help him at this point. Let's see what Zoro top decks. Grabs a Fire Fist. So, yeah. It's looking rough. But, I mean, he does have 7 life right now, so things could change. I'm very curious about his list, because this seems, it's very uncommon to see like Nami and like the Straw Hat kind of stuff, but also just not for him to see any of like his Rush Zoros. Like, I assume he's still gonna play Marco, because Marco is just a crazy card and he's playing a ton of events, so why wouldn't you play Marco? Very interesting, very interesting. Looks like he's tapping 3. Will play the Fire Fist, killing both the blockers. Alright, at least he did get some value out of his top deck. And we're probably just swinging big. Maybe leaving one up for the beam. I don't know, it's gonna be hard for him to try to secure game with just his leader and like a Diablo Jambe kind of play. Just because how Queen works is that he'll always, regain a life now that he's in this kind of state of the game. So we're going 9 at life. Queen triggering a Sanji. That's a good trigger. Discarding a Sogeking. The Sanji altered. Okay. Zoro playing a Sanji of his own. and passing him back. What did Queen grab there? I can't quite tell if he has more top end. Is that... Is that... I think that's Yamato. Yeah. I've never seen her alt art. It's pretty cool. Or his alt art. Queen doing things. I assume, yeah, gaining a life. And Zoro will take that hit. And Queen going once again with 8. Zoro also taking that hit. Finds a Magra, I believe. Man, it's it's rough for the Zoro player, man. What does he do? Finds another Radical Beam at 10 Dawn. We could like try to contest the Katakuri, but there's a Sanji blocker, so we really can't, right? Zoro separating 8 Dawn. Not doing anything just yet. I imagine it's just play Sanji this turn and like swing with leader. I don't think there's really any other play this turn for him. So yep, he goes 8 Dawn on leader. Attacks. Wonder what he's attacking. Looks like just life. Queen will take, that's no problem. He can just heal it back next turn. Finds a Mihawk, so whatever. This Sanji is just going to the bottom of the deck now. Man. I just want Zoro to draw something good. Like, I'm so curious what the list is. Like, I don't even know. But I imagine Queen is definitely just gonna play the Mihawk this turn, swing with everything, heal a life with leader, and yeah, not a super crazy turn. So yep, playing the Mihawk, bottom decking the Sanji. And then I would assume Dawn on leader, heal a life, if he can heal. I forget the exact requirements for Queen's heal. Going 8 into life with Katakuri. Zoro picking up a Gordon. Still has another 9k with Yamato. But goes 6 with lead first. Can he not trigger his leader effect? I can't tell. I guess not. Interesting. I thought if you like didn't meet the requirements, you just drew a card, but maybe I'm wrong in saying that. But Zoro taking both, finding a Buggy and then a Rush Zoro. Okay, so I guess it's just like the hyper aggro deck, but he kind of didn't really see his pieces early on. Picking up another Fire Fist. There's got to be Marcos in the deck, right? There's no way you're playing this many events without Marco. But I imagine this turn will just be something along the lines of playing Buggy, playing Zoro, attacking for an amount, and just passing. Nothing really crazy to do. Zoro tapping 1, playing down the Buggy. Let's see what he finds. Don't really know what he could be looking for, honestly. Does still have 2 Radical Beams. Kinda, yeah, looks like he whiffed there. Which, yeah, I mean, makes some sense. He's seen a ton of his events. Still has 9 Dawn to work with. He could skip out on playing the Zoro this turn, which I guess is okay. I don't know. It's just it's a rough spot, because if he plays Zoro, it's definitely dying to one of the 9k swings. It's kind of going to be very hard to defend. I'd imagine Queen would be back in the threshold to heal. I'm pretty sure. Also, can I just say that Zoro's Dawn on top right now is like really cool. I don't know what that's from, but I like it a lot. It looks like graffiti. It's pretty sick. Zoro tapping 3. Playing Fire Fist. Discarding. The Diablo Jambe to KO the Sanji blocker. Okay. Always feels bad when you're discarding 2 to just KO 1, but I don't think he has the cards to properly set up a Fire Fist. Like, the Gordon could put Katakuri to 5k, but then you can't KO the Sanji, so I understand him just popping the leader. He's kind of in a desperate spot, so. Still has, what, 1, 2, 3, 6 Dawn. I don't know if playing the Rush Zoro is honestly worth it this turn. Just because it'll almost immediately get answered, so maybe you want to save that for a turn when you think you can go for game. Maybe next turn, because he'll be able to buff up Buggy, and then, you know, rush Zoro. Could be better, could be better. Zoro swinging 6 at life. Queen still does have at least one 2k. Has another Yamato and a blocker. Queen will use a 2k counter. And then the Zoro could come down here and swing for like 7 or something. So yep, he taps 3, plays Zoro, and actually just goes 6. Okay. That's a good call. It's a good call. He's low in cards. He finds another Katakuri off life. So I think Yamato can still pop the rush Zoro, so I imagine that's probably the play this turn. And she'll be able to heal Queen, so okay, now we're just swinging Mihawk at Zoro. That's fair. Going 8 at life. Zoro could just Radical Beam to get out of this. It's kind of like the perfect number, unless he does want to see his, you know, second to last life. But no, he will use the Radical Beam and just, you know, yeah, I think that's fair, because the next, you know, swing will be at 9k, and you'll need the Radical Beam and a 1k, which he does have, but I don't know if it's worth defending this life. Maybe just defend the next one. Unless Queen just swings 15 at you, then I guess hold it. So yeah, he does take that life. Could have been a trigger, he was kind of scanning the board. I believe that's Jet Pistol, but it's the alt art of Jet Pistol, so that is why he was checking it out. So plays down the Yamato, pops the Buggy, heals a life, and Queen not opting to give Zoro his last life, which I think is very fair, because next turn he will be able to go for game with 4 9Ks, I guess 3 9Ks and 1 8K on the board. And Zoro seemingly still has no good plays. Didn't get to use his Magra on the Buggy this turn. Even if he did, he wouldn't have had enough to kill him, because Queen did heal 1 life from the Yamato. So yeah, this is pretty much just game. Either really well played from the Queen, or Zoro just did not see the cards he needed to. I really felt like, I don't know, this list was definitely weird. Maybe I need to like go back and look and see for all of his searches if like there was like a Marco in there or something. Yeah, Zoro just swinging, what, 13 at Queen, and yeah, it's looking like it's just the end. Swings 9, takes the first one, Radical Beams, and 1Ks out of the second. Swings another 9, and yeah, Zoro does concede. Well, thank you guys for watching.